No, you just don't get it, Tachibana. You don't get it at all. If you go on a date with me, you'll see for yourself just what a creepy old man I am.
Wait, we're gonna go out on a date?
If we go on a date, you'll see.
Just now, you said we could go on a date and see for myself.
No, I was just trying.
That's what you said.
I suppose so.
Hello, welcome to Write the Truth. My name is Patricia Guzar, the author of Where the Stars Hide, a young adult dystopian fantasy. And today we are going to be discussing a romantic anime called After the Rain. Now, this is a very controversial story. I haven't really heard a lot about it, and this is the other reason I want to talk about it. It is I kind of feel like it's an underrated show that doesn't have a lot of attention. And the reason why it is controversial is because this is an age gap romance. Yes, an age gap. Now you're like, well, what's wrong with an age gap romance? Well, the problem is the young character is still in high school. The older character is 45. And not only that, he's her boss. Now, this is not like a lot of age gap shows I've seen. I do see this show as a lot more innocent than most things I've seen. Typically when you see shows like this, and this kind of plays in the same dynamic, but it kind of gives the writer an excuse to create this fantasy, is always the girl, which it probably should be like this, but you know, it's the girl who's interested in the older guy, and it allows the older guy to be able to like explore his feelings for her, and you know, he kind of pushes back, but in the end they somehow end up together or whatever. And you can see you feel the undertone, like, okay, this is a fantasy. This is a fantasy they're trying to create where a man is getting the opportunity to be in a relationship with a teenage girl, and it just looks like it's not that big a deal. That's not what this is. This is not like that. Now, this does have the whole notion of the girl who's interested in the older man. But in this story, he actually is not interested in her at all. He can see that she is beautiful. He can see that, you know, and he also can see that she's young. And he's not interested in her. But her coming into his life has opened up that door that he has closed a long time ago. And she becomes more of a tool in his life to pushes him to pick back up things he's left in his youth, which is love, which is like his passions, different things, you know, just kind of like hope. When you're older, you kind of tell yourself, okay, this is for young people. Love is for young people. Your dreams, that's for the youth. It's not really for me. He's pretty much, his name is Kondo and Tochibana. He pretty much has become very mediocre and content with his life as being a manager of a diner. And she is a high school student who is working at the diner, and she finds herself in love. Now, on the opposite end, she also is hiding from something. They both are kind of running away from something. She is a very talented athlete. She's like a really good runner, but after an injury, she's kind of given up on it. She literally thinks she'll never be able to run again, and she has poured herself into this job and pretty much let go of her high school normancy, not being able to go to like different things with her friends. Like, she's just kind of given up on that because she's messed up her foot. Now she just kind of doesn't care, and she feels like she's just going to like focus on just working only. And you know, and that's what they both do. They both come to work and they kind of just focus on work and these other things in their lives, these talents that they have, these other passions that they have. They've learned to discredit them so that they can just work at this job. The job has become a distraction for both of them to not deal with the things that they should be, you know, that they deserve. So other than the whole romance, I feel like the romance is just a tool for this story. It comes off as like a side thing, but the bigger premise of this story really is, well, I'm gonna say not the premise, but the the theme of the story, although this is a romance, the theme of the story isn't about romance. The theme of the story is not allowing disappointment, not allowing any type of tragedy or things just not going your way keep you from like pursuing the things that you deserve, whether that be pursuing love, whether that be pursuing your dreams. And that's what they've both done. They both have, with time, he's gotten older, he has a child, gotten a divorce because he has a kid who comes and visits him, has a best friend who's like a writer, and we find that he's like a talented writer. He's really good with words and he loves classical literature. Kind of pushes that stuff aside just so that, he doesn't want to get disappointed and having to pick up love again, get disappointed and having to like dream of being a writer again. And now this is the thing, I really relate to the male character a lot. And I think a lot of people who are older relate to that, because you kind of just feel like as you get older, your dreams and your aspirations are just in the past. Like, that's for the young people. And after you hit like 25, like there is no, you've lost the opportunity. And if you miss that small little window of success, from, probably 20 to 25, and you don't make it by 25, it's something like you just give up, whether that probably be love or your career. And so this is a really brilliant show. And so Tachibana, when it comes for Tachibana and Kondo, her role in his life, she kind of plays this role to remind him like, hey, just because you're 45 doesn't mean that you weren't 17 before. And back when you were 17, you were just like her. You were, really interested in love and wanting to get in relationships. You would go on dates. You would do these things. Why did you stop doing that? Just because you're 45, you can't enjoy your life? And he doesn't feel like he needs to do that with her, but it's just kind of like, it's like he just woke up out of nowhere. She pretty much forces him to go on a date with her. They went to go to like a little cafe, and he's there and he's just kind of like remembering. It's almost like he's just like, wait, what? And he's just like remembering like, oh, I used to do this when I was like 17, just like her. And you can tell like in his life, he's literally like gotten so caught up in the adult world, seems like he just doesn't have fun. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't step outside of his norm. He always kind of just does the same thing every day. He doesn't break from that tradition of how he constructs his life since he was like young. He hasn't done it in a long time. And so she kind of comes in his life with her huge crush on him, mind you. She has a huge crush on him. And she comes into his life, and it really just reminds him of, what he's like been missing out in. And so she kind of helps him do that. Now, she has a crush on him. She's not obviously here to help him with his love life. All she knows is she likes her boss. She calls him boss. She doesn't even know why. But as we watch the story, we start to realize like she's fallen for him, but there's not a really clear reason. And we start to understand that she needs some type of aspiration. She needs some type of goal. She needs some type of like thing to run after. And before she was at her job, the job is kind of like, it's not as fulfilling. And before that, she was a track runner, and she, was the top of her league. Like, she was like the best runner. But when she got in the accident, she no longer was the top person. And not only that, she couldn't even run anymore. And so I think this need of, when she, going to your job and just earning money is just not fulfilling. Since her whole life used to be running, now she's at this job. It's like there's a part of her that needs something to live for, or something to look forward to. And so she kind of attaches her passions to this boss, and she just sees him as amazing, and he really isn't. He actually is amazing, but she doesn't really know anything about him. She doesn't even know why he's a great guy. And he explains to her like, you don't actually know me. There's no reason for you to like me. Like, I'm just your boss. I just come in. And I think what she likes about him is that he's humble and nice. That's pretty much it. The closest they got in this show was a hug. It was a nice long hug. But that was as close as it got to a physical relationship. It didn't get any further than that. And a lot of the desire for this relationship is 100% coming from the girl. And I think the man might dabbed in it a little bit and immediately pulled himself out and was like, absolutely not. I'm not getting involved in this. And so they both have these friends who represent who they could be. You know, the world that they used to be a part of before they came to this restaurant together and kind of like let go of their past. She has a really close friend who's a track runner who literally is, you know, at the same league as she is, and so she keeps coming to pull her back into the running world, but she just refuses. She doesn't want to go back. Also, obviously she has an injury, but she don't want to do that. She doesn't want to be disappointed. And then for him, he has a friend who's a writer who he used to write in college, who's trying to pull him back into the world. Like, hey, come back to like the world of writing. Like, you're super talented. Why aren't you doing this anymore? And so I really love the story. Now I feel like I gave spoilers, but I really I just can't help but point out these deeper parts that just mean so much when I'm watching it. It's literally like a good theme, and I feel like I watched it and you can really learn something, take something home, take something with you from it, and really like put it in your heart and just go like, wow, just because, you know, life gives me lemons, I don't have to let it sit and rot and not do anything with it. And even if I did let it sit and rot, I can still make lemonade. I can still do something with my life. I don't have to settle. And honestly, her seeking this older man is her pretty much settling. And he feels like that. He's like, why are you interested in me? You know, I'm just an old man. I'm old. Like, I have a child. For her to like lock down with this old man, it is her just settling. And maybe there's a part of her that she feels like she can never have her dream, and maybe that's all she felt like she was worthy of, was this one dream. If she couldn't have that, then she should just settle with this really old guy. And she never really understands why she likes him. He pretty much denies her every time. In one part, he allows himself to dab into this little bit small fantasy of being with her. He just go in a little bit, and by going in, he literally just embraces her, gives her a hug, and maybe hug her a little bit longer than he actually intended to. And that's as close as they get. But it was a really good story. It's a very underrated anime. I highly recommend it. After It Rains. Yes, it has their little small moments of them getting close together. But I really do like this show because it doesn't go any further than that. Although I might have gave it a little bit of spoilers, it's so good. It's really good to watch. I really enjoyed it. Now, if you think that maybe I'm tripping, maybe you've seen this story and you're like, nah, this wasn't good. I don't like it. I feel like it was really good. I've seen other shows. They've been really bad. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about another age gap romance anime that was pretty bad. And yeah, we'll get into that in our next video. Now, let me know, do you guys have any suggestions of other romance you'd like me to review? Romance, whether that be an anime, whether that be a book or a movie. I am open to all those things. I'm always looking for a new romance, especially anime romance, to indulge. I've watched so many of them. So if you guys have any suggestions in the comment section, believe me, I'm always like seeking like a hawk for my next one. So yeah, if you really enjoy this, please give us thumbs up, a like, subscribe. If you like this content, I'm going to continue doing more stuff like this. So yes, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.